Right, so we're going to start with Joshua Van versus Tatsuro, obviously. I think this is obviously the main event of UFC 327. And listen, I wasn't exactly massive in this fight when it was first announced. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, maybe they should have waited for Pantoja. Maybe they should have kind of just went in a bit of a different direction with 327. But then I kind of thought they probably don't even have another main event. The co-main event is, I think it's Johnny Walker versus fucking Dominic Reyes. The card isn't exactly great. Maybe the card's not finished. I hope they'll probably chuck a women's flyweight title or some shit on this. But as regards to the actual main event, I think this is pretty decent. Now, I've rewatched a few of their fights. So, a few conclusions I've come to since rewatching the common denominator fight that is Brandon Royval is both of them have each other's opposite holes. And I wouldn't necessarily say Joshua Van is a bad grappler, but Tatsuro absolutely has the advantage in the grappling. And Joshua Van absolutely has the advantage in the striking. This is, I would say, a striker versus grappler matchup. I don't think that's outrageous to say. We'll start with Tatsuro. So when I rewatched the Brandon Royval fight, I thought, good back control. He's able to get people down in certain moments, but he's good scrambles as well. But I think it was just in the third round, he went for like an early takedown. Van is missing like a knee up the middle that Royval kind of had, which he had some success with in the middle. But one thing about Tatsuro that I don't really like, and I'm not very hopeful going into this fight, is his head movement. Now, Joshua Van has very, very limited head movement as well. It's not like Joshua Van is this elite Mayweather where he's just completely moving every 2 seconds. Both of them are very stationary. But Joshua Van's boxing is so much more clear. It's so clear. And that's why I'm going to be picking Joshua Van to win this fight. I'm picking Joshua Van via 4th round TKO. The striking's too much of a difference. I seen the scrambles with Royval, and yes, Tatsuro had good back control throughout that fight in moments, but Royval was able to get back to his feet as well. Royval did more damaging shots. Joshua Van's leg kicks probably won't be coming into a play. I do see Joshua Van getting taken down, and I do see Tatsuro being able to take his back. I'm not sold that, Joshua Van can just be submitted easily. I'm not sold. Maybe he can. Maybe this will be a big shock to me and to kind of a lot of people who are picking Joshua Van. But I'm confident that Joshua Van will be able to get in his face and land the strikes necessary for a 4-round TKO. I think he punches the fucking head off him, to be honest with you. I don't think this is a competitive fight within the striking. Now, in the grappling, I think Tatsuro is very good. I think he's gifted. And, Joshua Van got knocked out by Charles Johnson, which isn't a good look. I know Lonnie Kavanagh did, and I'm still picking him. But still, it's not exactly a great look if you're, Joshua Van. But the striking's too different, bro. He's too clear in the striking for me to really bet against him in this fight. And that's why I'm going to pick him. Very slow striking in the Brandon Royval fight for Tatsuro. Slow, just moving forward, kind of throwing, not throwing much power behind it. And when he was throwing, I didn't really see much speed. Joshua Van's going to be able to slip, and he's going to be able to counter. Guaranteed you that's how Joshua Van's going to be able to find that chin. I am a little bit worried about the early rounds, but I don't think Tatsuro is great, to be honest with you. I rewatched the Brandon Moreno fight as well. Brandon Moreno got caught with like a nice right hand, and it kind of went all downhill from there. Brandon Moreno got him in like a near fucking arm, like an arm triangle. He nearly got him in just a triangle, I should say. He nearly got him in just a triangle for like 4 minutes of the first round. And then Tatsuro got him a lovely right hand. And Moreno was just completely dazed. He was able to get the takedown and kind of got the finish a little bit later on. But he's very slow single legs, Tatsuro. I was kind of noticing in the Royval fight. Very slow single legs. But the thing is, Joshua Van isn't exactly the champion. And it's not... I just don't like... I don't like that he's defending his belt. Am I the only one that kind of thinks that? Am I the only one that kind of thinks, why are you defending your belt? You shouldn't even have the belt, to be honest with you. I know Pantoja got injured, and technically Van should have the belt. But how are you defending the belt and you didn't even win it? That's where I'm kind of bothered by this fight. Because I think Pantoja beats Joshua Van. I do. I fucking do, bro. And... I don't know. It just feels wrong. It just feels wrong that we have to sit through a title defense with someone who got a belt undeservedly through an injury. And Joshua Van paraded around like he knocked Pantoja out in the first round. First 20 seconds, he just starched him. No, bro. It just feels wrong. And I'm looking forward to Pantoja coming back, and I hope he gets that belt back because I love Pantoja. But Tatsura's got good scrambles. Was taking Brandon Royval's back, but he's got no head movement. Absolutely no head movement. Solid-ish takedowns. I remember there was like the third round, second round, he was looking okay with the takedowns, but Joshua Van is going to be able to piece him up on the feet, bro. I do believe this. I do believe this to be true. I think his striking's going to be too much. He's going to bounce his head off. Joshua Van's striking in the Royval fight was just so crisp, so quick, so fast. I thought Royval was going to piece him up in that fight, but boy, it was a great fight. Van just kind of like embraced the counters. I feel like that's where he really shined, was the counter striking against Royval, because Royval's really in your face. Tatsuratura is going to be a little bit more reserved. I want to see Joshua Van maybe land some uppercuts when Tatsuratura comes in. That's going to be something like that would be, I think, absolutely massively beneficial to him moving forward in the fight. But yeah, it's decent. It's decent. We move on. April 11th is actually my birthday, which is kind of funny. Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker. Someone's getting chinned. And I feel like this is one of those fights where I'm just like, I feel like this is like a Kevin Holland, Neil Magny. I should have seen this fight. I don't know how this fight's never been booked before. I'll go... I don't even know, bro. I'll go Johnny Walker. Probably has a little bit more power than Dominic Reyes. Might be able to just find that chin a little bit better. Because let's be honest, are we really betting on the Dominic Reyes title run again? Are we really doing this, boys? Are we really betting on the Dominic Reyes title run? Because, he looked good there for a while and kind of got a few wins together. Apart from that, bro, he's done fuck all. He kind of just leeches off the fact that he beat John Jones, which is an incredible thing. Okay, we all know he beat John Jones as well. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that he beat John Jones. But he didn't really kick on. He got knocked out by Jan Blachowicz. He got knocked out by Ryan Spann with a jab. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not... I don't know. It's a tricky one, but it's a good scrap. I look forward to it. Someone's getting chinned. They're both heavy-handed. Reyes is a little bit sharper on the feet, but I think Walker will probably be able to find his chin at some point. He'll probably put him out at some point. Because Dominic Reyes has no head movement. Johnny Walker will probably be able to just walk forward and hit him with like a knee or something, wobble him, and then kind of finish him up against the cage. That's kind of how I see this fight going. Johnny Walker picked up a good win there back in like September or something like that against Zan. So that was a pretty good win. That was actually a very good win. I did not expect Johnny Walker to win that 1%. I thought he was guaranteed to get his head blasted off. Can you blame me, bro? Can you fucking blame me, man? It's Johnny fucking Walker here. He's not good. Who the fuck ever said he was the answer to John Jones? You need to get got. You need to get fucking got immediately, bro. But next one, we have Murskanov versus Paulo Costa. I don't know. What the fuck is Paulo Costa doing at light heavyweight? He's gonna, he clearly can't make the weight at middleweight. Okay, and I'll never forget him giving out to Marvin Vettori that he couldn't make weight. That Paulo Costa was giving out to Marvin Vettori that Paulo Costa couldn't make weight. He was like, this is your fault and shit. That's why we need fighter sit-downs and fighter face-to-faces, bro. They're sick. They're absolutely sick. I think Paulo Costa's done. I don't even know if Costa was ever that good. Like, he beat Romero. He had a really good fight with Whitaker. But apart from that, boys, do we really say Paulo Costa had a successful middleweight career? I'm not convinced. Bro. And I feel like he's going to get starched in this fight. Murskanov probably just march forward and just plow his head off, to be honest with you. Because, Costa's quite a big middleweight, but I never really thought Costa was overly huge. He was jacked as fuck. But... And listen, I love Paulo Costa. Like, I used to think Paulo Costa was a fucking gimp. I used to think he was a gee-bag of the highest order. But I actually fuck with Paulo Costa. I think he's funny as fuck. I think he's just unserious. I think his tweets are fucking hilarious. And I remember this one time, he just started crying in an interview because the guy asked him how it was camp. And he just started crying. I think it was Brett Okamoto was like, oh shit, bro. I just want to know how your day was going. Fuck me, I love Paulo Costa, but he's not winning. He's not fucking winning, boys. I'm so sorry to say it. Paulo Costa is getting slapped up. Murskanov is probably just going to be able to fucking land on at will. Now, Costa might be able to leg kick because we've seen lighter man skills, so I wouldn't completely write him off. Maybe he'll probably be able to find range because he looked good against, was it Kopylov? He looked good against Kopylov in his last fight or something like that. He was scheduled recently and he pulled out. Who was he fucking scheduled? I can't remember who he was fucking scheduled against. But he's done at middleweight. He's moving up to light heavyweight. He's moving up to 205. And I'm looking forward to it. This guy's pulled out more times than fucking any fighter in UFC history. So it's good to see him move up and get that extra few pounds. Curtis Blades is just one of the most dis-fucking respected fighters I have ever seen in my entire life. And I really rate Curtis Blades. I think Curtis Blades is probably one of the best heavyweights walking the earth. You know, he beat Gentle Almeida. But this is the third time this has happened. He beat remember he fucking fought Dawkins. What the fuck was that about? What was that about? And he fought that guy, that Roydhead as well there a few months ago. He just seems to just always be fighting guys. Curtis Blades kind of seems to be the guy they use to push people forward. But they always lose. Almeida as well. Curtis Blades is one of the best heavyweights walking the earth. Probably ever. Like, he's the top 10 heavyweight ever. Okay? The whole Aspinall thing, he's just not that good. Curtis Blades isn't good enough to be a top Aspinall. It's kind of facts. Gan would be interesting. Different stylistic fight to Tom. Very heavy grappling. Would love to see that. Would fucking love to see Curtis Blades versus Cyril Gane. I'm going Curtis Blades. I think Curtis Blades is way more experienced. Good. Look at his fucking legs, bro. He's huge. Better striking. Not better striking, sorry. Decent enough striking, I should say. Decent enough striking. He's got vicious elbows, hence why I call razor blades. And I think Curtis Blades has always been disrespected. You know, he never really got those massive opportunities apart from Tom. And apart from that, he never got the title fight. He fought for an interim belt, which he fully fucking deserved, and it was much, much overdue. But I'm going to go with Curtis Blades on this one. I think Curtis Blades has way more experience. He's always beating these kind of guys. 3 times. This is the 3rd time now he's been disrespected with a shit stylistic matchup. Not stylistic matchup, but with just someone. I think this guy's 2-0, I saw. It's not fair on Curtis Blades, man. It's not fair on Curtis Blades. Free Curtis Blades. I don't know, release the Curtis Blades files because they must have something on this fucking... Release the Dana White files, that's what I've been saying. But I'm going to go with Curtis Blades. You know, I feel like he'll be able to implement the grappling. What I don't really like about Curtis Blades lately is he's kind of used the cage a lot to his advantage, I should say advantage. He's been using the cage a lot to kind of win fights that way, and it's boring. I'm not gone on it. I hate cage control, winning fights. I think it's fucking bullshit, and I don't think it should... I think it should be taking points away if you're trying to use the cage as control. But Curtis Blades, always been a dog, always like Curtis Blades. I just don't understand why he's his scapegoat. Why not, you know, someone else? Why Curtis Blades? They just want to get rid of Curtis Blades so badly from the heavyweight division. He's kind of like Corey Sandhagen in a way where, like, he's just not really that next step above. He's not Tom. I don't think he beats Gane. It's an interesting fight because, you know, we haven't seen Gane's wrestling tested that much. Curtis Blades is probably the best wrestler in the division now, especially with Almeida gone, and he finished Almeida before, so you don't really have an argument there. So that'll be an interesting fight, and Tom's just way too quick for Gane, or for Blades. So, you know, Plotty Man Blades. Oh, I hope he wins because I like Curtis Blades. I really fuck with Curtis Blades. I think he'll get this one done, and I'm gonna go with him via. I'm gonna go with him via first round TKO on that one. I think he'll get that one done. My personal favourite fight of the night. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Rude Boy slick with it. This is just perfect matchmaking. I'm so happy this fight is happening. I want to say it now. You know when people say, oh, 2020, I'm on a 2020 Kevin Holland run? That's not ball knowledge. The one night Cody Garbrandt is not ball knowledge. Sage Norco is not ball knowledge. It's just not, bro. Team Alpha Male Chris. I'm not going to say his second name because if you're a real fan, you'll know what I'm on about. That's ball knowledge. That's ball knowledge, bro. That's ball knowledge. But stylistically, I think this is such a fucking fun fight. I'm gonna go with Randy Brown on this one. Sometimes I just make best promises to myself to never bet on these certain fighters ever. I cannot bet on Kevin Holland. You lost to Mike Mallet, bro. You're shit. You're shit. You beat Gunnar Nelson. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You lost to Rainer the Ritter. You're shit, bro. Kevin Holland is pretty shit. And he had so much fucking potential to be good. But he just coped way too much. He coped way too much about fights. He hated the fact that his excuse of... I really saw it in the MVP fight. When he fought Michael Venom Page, he wasn't... when he realized he couldn't beat this guy, that's when he starts talking to him in the cage and just starts saying, I'm only here for money, I don't really give a fuck about the belt. That's Kevin Holland hoping, because he knows he's not good enough to get the belt. And he has the potential. But he's back down at welterweight now. God knows when Kevin Holland's going to be at middleweight again. I fuck with Kevin Holland so heavy. I really do. I love Kevin Holland. Like, I really fucking do. He's funny as fuck. He's entertaining. What was that thing with Rampage? The fucking... some Glock 38 or something like that. I can't fucking remember. But... he can be a bit of a spoiled brat as well. And listen, I've never claimed that I can beat Kevin Holland in a fight, and I never will claim I can beat Kevin Holland in a fight. But I just have to say what I think. I think Randy Brown's movement is going to be a problem for Holland in this fight. I wouldn't necessarily compare it to Michael Venom Page's movement, because I think that's a bit, it's a bit stupid. But Rude Boy kind of has like a in and out kind of style, and leg kicks are going to be massively important in this fight. Think he's going to be able to catch Kevin coming in. Kevin can definitely get in his face and land. Kevin's a fucking cheese string. Like, Kevin's lanky as fuck. Kevin's a stick man in that cage, okay? So Kevin definitely has a chance of beating Randy Brown, because at the end of the day, it is our welterweight. Kevin is skillful. He has great grappling. He has decent striking. He's actually quite good striking. And he can make things work on the feet. But so can Randy Brown. I think Randy Brown's probably just a little bit better on the feet. So I'm going to go with him on this one. Simply, and let's be honest, like, can you really ever bet on Kevin Holland? Like, he's so inconsistent, bro. He's so inconsistent. And, yeah, Randy Brown in the fight is always just one. This is such a sick fight, bro. I love this fucking fight. Like, that's matchmaking at its finest. That is fucking matchmaking at its finest. That's one for the fans right there. But, yeah, who cares? I'm only messing, but, Tatiana Suarez versus Godinez. Gonna go with Suarez on this one. Again, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares, bro. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. Sorry. Damn, Cub Swanson, man, is still in the mix. He's going to lose. I'm going to go with Nate on this one. Nate the Train. I'm going to go with Nate the Train on this one. Listen, I'm not really betting on Cub Swanson ever again in a fight. Let's be honest, boys. Cub Swanson's completely finished. Cub was good back in the day. The Cub Swanson low kick was always class. And, oh my God, who does that? The Cub Swanson, man. We all know who we're talking about. Brian Ortega's standing, guillotine, which was fucking sick. Who does that? The Cub Swanson. Or what was it? Remember when he did the Cub Swanson, man? Listen, Cub's a G. Cub Swanson is a G. We all love and respect Cub. It's nothing personal against him, but you can't really bet on him in this stage of his career, can you? And I don't think Cub Swanson is going to win this fight. I don't think so. Nate the Train is probably just going to be able to run through him. I'm going to go with Nate the Train via first round TKO. Was it Jonathan Martinez kicked the fucking legs off him and he just couldn't continue anymore? That's when I was like, Cub's completely finished. But fair play to him for still getting back in there. Fair play to him for still competing at the highest level. Like, Nate Landwehr is a pretty good fighter. He's a good fighter. And yeah, I'm gonna go with him on this one. I don't think Cub still has it. It's not clicking for me at the moment to pick Cub Swanson. To be honest with you, it's just not. And I don't think I'm alone on this one. I don't think I'm alone. But big up Cub Swanson, bro. Vicente Luque versus Dawkins. Obviously, like I mentioned before, Curtis Blades got really disrespected. Where's Curtis Blades? Curtis Blades got really disrespected by fighting Dawkins, his brother. And, Chris and Kyle, they just big fat guys in the UFC. And they've no skill. And when Dawkins fought Blades, they just kind of want to push. Dawkins got so many fights as well where I was just like, what the fuck are you trying to push this guy for? Why is he in my main event? Why? But Vicente Luque, when he lost to Joaquin Buckley, it just hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. And he kind of got snaked by Ian Gary, because Ian Gary's like, I'll never fight Vicente Luque. I'll never fight Vicente Luque. He's my brother. I'm the Muffin Man. And I'm going to go with... Fuck, I don't even know. Dawkins might win this fight, man. I'm going to go with Dawkins on this one. I think Vicente Luque's finished, bro. I think Luque's been finished for many, many years. He was such a threat. When I saw him submit Michael Chiesa, I really thought this guy could really be something special. But then you run into the Bilal Muhammad and you lose to him. You're losing to Joaquin Buckley as well. Fuck, it just doesn't look good in this stage of a career to be a Vicente Luque fan. And as much as I love Vicente Luque, I love his personality, I love who he is as a person, I'm not betting on him in this fight. I'm not betting on him in this fight. I don't care. He's moving up to middleweight. That just shows he's older and he's going to be harder to make weight. He's fatter now as well. So I might go with Dawkins on this one. Now, I might change my mind a little bit closer to the fight. But I feel like, Luke, just the stage of his career, and Vicente Luque was such a dog back in the day. He was such a fucking dog back in the day. And I miss Vicente Luque being at the top of the UFC because he was so entertaining. His hands, his movement, I thought Vicente Luque could have been one of the best welterweights ever. And let's not forget, he was doing very well. He was doing very well against Bilal Muhammad before Bilal Muhammad got the takedowns. Because he was landing on Bilal. Luque had fucking massive power in his hands. And some people were picking him to beat Ian Gary. I never thought he was going to beat Ian Gary. But Vicente Luque's been at the top for so long. He's a bit of a G. But what do we think about all these fights? I'm personally extremely happy with these fights. Good fight. Now, very good fight. Very good fight. Good fight. And then a pretty decent, one. And then we have the obviously the main event. It's missing a really, really solid co-main. That's the only kind of gripe I have with 327 at the moment. But let me know what you think about all these fights down below, boys. And thanks for watching.